Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of a retirement Carolina Retirement Planners Weekly Happy Half Hour show, if you will. I'm David Shakavage. In case this is your first visit, I am the president of Carolina Retirement Planners. Joining me here is my daughter and partner, Sam Shakavage.
Hi.
And ever since COVID, for every week we come and kind of share some, hopefully some wisdom, some knowledge, some useful stuff, have a little fun, say hi to a lot of folks. And what are we talking about this time? What are we talking about this time, Sam?
We're talking about the 5 Roth conversion mistakes to avoid.
Yeah. So, and we often spend a lot of time teaching how to do Roth conversions. We always want to point out some of the pitfalls of Roth conversions. So that should be kind of interesting because, you never want to make a tax mistake because it just means you're going to pay more in taxes. And we have both, as usual. We have a nice little giveaway we'll have later on tax mistakes or strategies. And what else do we do every week, Sam?
Well, you have not introduced yet the lovely, incomparable Amy Dresky, who makes all the magic happen behind the scenes.
Hi.
And each week she lets us know what national holiday it is, what national day it is.
Yeah.
It's always some cute day. And I think that what she's wearing may have a little bit of a clue as to the day it is. So Amy, what is it?
Today is National Pajama Day. It's so cozy. Yes. I actually wore something that's not pajamas, but kind of cozy pajama-esque when I came into the office today. And I was like, you should wear pajamas every day. This is fantastic.
If I had known in time, maybe I would have worn pajamas to the office and seen how that went.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm going to wear pajamas to the office.
I mean, don't knock it till you try it. You might love it.
Mm-hmm. I've always envied my friend who's a nurse because she gets to wear scrubs to the office every day, which is kind of like pajamas.
Amy is, by the way, our director of client fun. That is her title, if you will. So she's entitled to all our fun.
I feel like if after, COVID died down and, there was an issue with like trying to bring people back into the workplace and do they need to come back in the workplace? Well, I feel like if companies had instituted some kind of clothing policy that mirrored what everybody was actually wearing at home, they might have more of a
oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. I am all about some comfort. 100%.
When I alluded to something else in our half-hour presentation, I was actually talking about something that inevitably happens at the end of our half hours. And what is that?
Our wine drawing.
That's right. We have a wine drawing for folks that have let us know in some way that they're coming, or they refer somewhere, or they say hi. We put their name in to get, we draw for a couple bottles of wine. You'll hear more about that in a little bit. We always enjoy saying hi to folks. I see that Bill has joined us and Robert has joined us and are saying greetings and good afternoon.
Yeah. If you're here, we don't know that you're here. So feel free to type hi into the chat and let's say hey. There were some interesting responses. What was your question, Amy?
Okay. I asked what everybody's bedtime routine or ritual was. And there were some good ones. There were some funny ones. It came in a little later, but I don't know. Were you able to read Dave's that came in?
I did not have a chance.
Dave and Pat. Oh, it was funny. It made me laugh. Quite with the frogs.
Yeah. So the question was, what is your bedtime routine? And then upon hopping into bed, sometimes I hear frogs. I jump back out, grab the sheets and wave them up and down to release the green dude. When it's safe to jump back in, I shut my eyes, hoping the frogs and I both drop off to sleep immediately.
I mean, I laughed. I was like, oh my goodness, that
That
is
is
so
great.
great.
That is great.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I get that. My boyfriend. Yep. I eat same way over here with Matt. So yep.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I should have a better nighttime routine, but
Do you have one? David, do you? Do you guys have any routines?
No, I can't say. I usually try to read something before I go to sleep. And I tend to, by the time I get to bed, it's usually like I have very little trouble falling asleep. It's usually trouble staying awake, but reading something will usually do it. Ideally, some kind of fiction or something that doesn't get you too riled up. Seems like the media these days is designed, for many years, has been designed to get you upset rather than to make you feel like you want to go to sleep. So that's probably, I would put up my iPad and find something to read there, or scroll mindlessly through some Facebook looking for the phishing sites and all I may subscribe to.
all right. Well, I think we should get to it. And while you're loading it up, I'll just say hey to a few more people who joined us. What do you think?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. We also are joined by Jay and Carter, Susan and Barry. Hi, everyone. And then we've got Brent and Skip. So thanks y'all for joining us today. Oh, and Barbara, who says happy Easter. So happy Easter to y'all. Oh, and our very own Teresa and Dan and Barb.
They're starting to come in now.
They're drinking a Weizenbach.
Okay, they're back.
Miranda's here with her CPAP and PJs.
They're back at their cabin. They're back at their cabin.
That's great. And my mom's here. All right, Dad, I'll let you get to it. But thanks everybody for joining us and welcome.
Okay, so let's think about, we spend a lot of time saying that, boy, for just in case you need a brief reminder, when you put money into a regular IRA, you get to put it in there without paying tax on it, and it grows and you don't pay tax as it grows, but when you take it out, you have to pay tax. And at a certain age, right now 73, you have to take so much out, about 4% a year, and pay the tax on it. And one of the problems with that is it might be taxed at your highest rate, at a higher rate, drive you into a higher rate. So one thing you can do is say, wouldn't it be nice if we could make it tax free? And so each year you want to take the right amount out of your IRA and maybe convert it to a Roth IRA, which grows tax-free. There's no requirement to take money out as you get older, and you can pass it on tax-free and a lot of other things. But you got to pay the tax and the thing. So there's a lot of other rules that come with it. So we're going to cover some of those. Sam, this is our first rule. Do you want to tell folks why if they're under 59 and a half, they probably want to make sure they have cash on hand to pay the taxes?
Absolutely. If you are under 59 and a half, you can do a Roth conversion from an existing IRA. But there's two ways to do a Roth conversion. And the first way is you do the conversion and you withhold the taxes on the conversion from the amount you're converting. So I would, put the money into my Roth and send the money from that to the IRS. However, if you are under 59 and a half, they would consider that to be a distribution and you would pay a 10% penalty. So if you're under 59 and a half and you are interested in doing a Roth conversion, then you want to make sure that you have after-tax normal money to pay the taxes with, or you'll be penalized.
So one way to look at that is if I have an IRA, I could say, I'm gonna pay the tax from the IRA And then I'm going to put the rest here into a Roth IRA that's tax-free. And but the trouble is, if you are under 59 and a half, you got to pay an extra 10% on this. So but you can take money from other areas. I thought I'd do it a little picture there, make it simpler. So that is
Thanks for the help, Dad.
You just wanted to draw your art. We know you. Yeah, that's all.
yeah. So
Your creative outlet.
a lot of people don't realize that the tax on the IRA doesn't have to come from the IRA. It could come from somewhere else, which means you can get the entire IRA into a Roth and get even more money growing tax-free. So that's number one. In fact, before we get to number two, I'm going to do this one next. A lot of times when it comes to Roths, it gets confusing. You hear things like the 5-year rule and things like that. And the rules for money, the status of putting money in and taking it out in taxes is not necessarily obvious. And Ed Slott, we're members of his elite advisory group, he has this little diagram he shows. But there's a couple of things worth mentioning. One is, if you are working and you put new money into your Roth, so you put $5,000 into a Roth from your wages this year, you can take those out, the $5,000 you put in, the next day. There's no limit to withdrawing contributions you made with fresh new wages into a Roth. And automatically, no matter how much Roth money you have and where it is, when you take money out, they deem that money as coming out first. If you are, like many people that are probably on our show, you're converting existing IRAs to a Roth. The rules are a little different. First, they're deemed to come out second. If you are over 59 and a half, then the money you converted could come out the next day. It's okay. You can take the amounts you put in and withdraw it without any penalty. However, if you're under 59 and a half, we have what's called the 5-year rule that says if you convert money and you have to wait 5 years or until you reach 59 and a half, whichever comes first, to take that out without penalty. And if each year you do a conversion, each year gets a new 5-year rule part. Now, realistically, I'm betting most of the folks that are doing this, that are converting money, and most listening are probably already 59 and a half. So you don't have to worry about, if you're 59 and a half, you kind of put most 5-year rules out of your mind. And just say, I can convert it and I can use it. Lastly, there's another rule for earnings, and they come out last, and automatically, no matter how many Roths you have, the IRS considers them coming out last. The only thing about that is you have two things that have had to have happened. One, you have to be 59 and a half, and two, you have had to have owned any Roth IRA for more than 5 years. So if you started one 10 years ago, you're okay if you're over 59. If you just did it when you're 59 and a half, well, you're going to have to wait 5 years to take out a growth. But to do that, you got to take out all the other money you put in, which probably isn't going to happen. So these rules are a lot simpler. This one here is basically saying, boy, if you withdraw money from your Roth, if you convert money and then you pull it out, you're under 59 and a half, you kind of got to watch out for that 5-year rule. So that's that one. What do we got next? Ooh, you want to handle this one, Sam, or should I handle this one?
Yeah, I'll start it and you can bring it on home. So something that many people are not aware of is, people, we talk a lot about tax brackets, but there are also IRMA brackets. And these brackets determine how much your Medicare is taxed, or what you pay for your Medicare each year. And they actually go 2 years in advance, which is why it matters once you turn 63. The IRMA brackets do not line up exactly with your with income tax brackets, and they consider your gross income. So you may say, oh, I want to convert up to the top of the 22. But one of the things you want to think about is, if I'm 63 or over, where is the actual limit that I can convert to without paying more for my Medicare? And then in some cases, your tax burden may be so high in the future that it makes sense to pay more for Medicare, but that's something that you can evaluate and something that you should be aware of when you do a conversion.
And what's the gross income that, if you go above, at least was 2 years ago, to kick in IRMA?
I believe it's 194,000 for 194,000 in gross income for a joint filer, or 97,000 for single filers.
And if you go above that, how much do they add to
If
your?
you go above that, if there's two of you, you would each pay $73 more per month for your Part B premiums.
So that's about, it's nearly like $1,000 a year. 73 times 12 is what, 700?
About $878.
$878 more each a year. And what happens if you go another click up?
If you go another click up, which is a gross income of above 246 or 123, then your plan premium goes up an additional $99 a month over the last one, which would end up being, it would go up $99 a month, and it would go up 2,000, just over 2,000 a year per person.
So kind of the rule here is, boy, when you're under 63, you can kind of just look at the taxable income and make a change. When you get above and when you get above
You get to
63, you got to start looking not at taxable, but the higher number, the adjusted gross income. Okay, here's another good trivia question. What does IRMA stand for?
Dad, I was talking about it to somebody just this week, and I realized that it's like income related Medicaid. I couldn't remember exactly what it stood for, and I am so embarrassed to say that.
It is income related monthly adjustment amount, affectionately known as Aunt Irma, So
I like Aunt Irma.
yeah, so that's another one that can get you.
Yeah, but we did a lot of I feel like a lot of that got kind of convoluted, but basically if you're over 63, you just have to make sure you realize that you're not just looking at the headroom in your tax bracket, you're also looking at the headroom in your IRMA bracket.
And that's one of the things we look with people and help them understand. We've got calculations to show what percentage you more based on when you do it. It can still make sense even if you're converting above the IRMA limit. Number 4 is converting it too high a tax bracket. This is the kind of thing happens sometimes, especially if someone is working and they're bringing in more than $360,000 a year in taxable income, and they're in the 32% bracket. And when they retire, they think they're going to be in the 22% bracket. It might make sense not to put money into a Roth then, or convert to a Roth at that higher rate. Better to wait till you're when you've retired or in a lower bracket, it opens up a lot of possibilities. And so you want to kind of take a look at the future and say, how many years would I have to convert that in when I'm in a lower bracket? So always putting more money into a Roth may not be right for some people, and that's another thing you want to think about. How you can take this one, Sam?
Another mistake could be converting in the wrong tax year. So for many people, you may decide that, we're sitting here in April 2023, and at this point, you could contribute to an IRA or a Roth, and you could code it for 2022 up until tax time. However, a Roth conversion does not happen the same way. A Roth conversion counts for the calendar year. So while it's something that we often will evaluate with somebody towards the end of the year, because they have a good idea of what they've withdrawn, what their income is going to be, you want to make sure that's completed by December 31st, or else it will count for the next year. And if you're looking at doing it, oftentimes at the end of the year, different companies' custodians their processing times are a little bit longer. So you want to give yourself a fair amount of room there, so you don't end up with a late conversion.
Yeah, we like to say try to get it done by the first week of December. When you get down to the last couple of weeks of December, getting a little dicey, And okay, I have a couple more.
I know he wasn't happy enough with 5.
I just,
I like it.
One of the changes they made recently is it used to be if you left someone an IRA, they could take a little bit out and stretch it out over their lifespan. One of the things that happened was they said that if you leave an IRA to someone, they got to take it all out in 10 years. And then the IRS came back and said, boy, if whoever gave it to you was already taking RMDs, you're still going to have to take RMDs every year, but still get it all out by the end of 10 years. So they're going to get a lot of money, taxable money, and pile it on top of their existing tax rates. But if you leave people a Roth instead, that Roths do not have RMDs, so there's no reason that they would have to take anything out, and they could get 10 more years of tax-free growth, which is a great thing. So, boy, if you want to leave money to your kids and your grandkids, and even more so if they're really doing well, as often they are, but it's nice to leave them the Roth IRA. Don't miss that opportunity to give them 10 more years of tax-free growth. I got one more I'm going to do real quick. It's not going to apply to very many people, but some people may have done what's called a backdoor Roth. A lot of people talked about it. And that's where, let's say you put $100,000 into an IRA, but somehow you managed to put
a Roth IRA or a
regular IRA, but 20,000 was a Roth, was after tax money. So you said, hey, I can only put 7,000 into my IRA. I'm going to put an extra 3 in after tax because I want to save it there. There's 2 problems with that. This extra money doesn't grow tax-free. Any growth on it is the same as the rest of the IRA. It's taxable. But what gets even trickier is if you go to take this money out, you might say, I'd sure like to take this money over here and put it and make it a separate Roth, you can't do it. The government says if I'm going to take this out, I gotta count the IRA equal with the Roth. So if I convert money, only 20,000, only 1/5 of it, 20% would come out tax free. The rest I still have to pay tax on the conversion. And it gets even crazier because if over here I had another IRA with $100,000 in, they combine these two, so you're actually getting even less out. So if by chance you did after-tax money into an IRA, if you try to take that Roth out, you got to be careful because you got to pay attention to this pro rata rule, and you don't want to get bitten because you get penalties because you took money out you shouldn't. Not going to apply to many people, but if anybody's out there and they thought backdoor or they have an IRA with money in it that they added, you better talk to someone carefully before you do any conversions. So that's our little bit on Roth mistakes. Again, you can reach us at carolinaretirementplanners.com. If you are new to this, there's lots of good info there. And if you go under events to Happy Half Hour, you can see how many of these have we done now, Amy?
This today is 137.
So 137 of these with information. There's some really good videos there. And if you have any questions or like to set up a meeting or a 15-minute phone call, particularly folks that are new, our clients know as well how to get in touch with us, you can call that number. So that's that. What got one thing left at least? What
Well, wait. We have two things. Would you like to talk about today's little giveaway?
We have a book called the Tax Strategies for Retirement. Has a lot of good information that you should know if you want to reduce taxes. We will mail this to you, printed on dead trees, delivered by a uniformed employee of the U.S. government, rather than delivering it to your iPhone to squint at. And how do they get a hold of this?
They need to send an email to mary@carolinarp.com. But I would like to mention, both Mary and I are going to be on vacation next week. So it'll be a little bit of a delay before you receive it. But when she returns, she'll definitely get those out for you.
Okay. What's next?
Excellent. Oh, next is our wine drawing. So each week we give away 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop. If you have never entered before, there are several ways to do so. The first, if you are on Facebook, like a member of Facebook, each week we'll put up a little event letting you know what we're going to be covering, and you click going, that I am going to this event, and we will get you in the wine drawing. If you share this event with a friend, we'll get you in there again. And if you are on our email listserv, then we will send out a week each week, also letting you know what we're covering. And if you respond, letting us know your favorite nighttime routine, or just say, enter me into the wine drawing, we'll get you in here as well.
So many ways. All right, here we go.
All right.
Does bourbon count as a nighttime routine? Not, never mind.
I mean, actually, I was emailing back and forth with Dan in regards to taking a shot of whiskey before you go to bed. So maybe, yeah, why not?
All right. Well, our winner this week of 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to their door is Lynn B. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
You are our
Lynn.
wine winner this week.
Congratulations.
Yay. And if
And what
you
is
did
our-
not win this week, continue to enter. I just gave you 2 super easy ways to enter into the wine drawing. So what do you have to lose?
Did we pick a topic for next week? Do we
Yeah,
have one?
We do. It's called Intermission Week because, yes, I will be in Sedona, Arizona. I guess gallivanting in the desert. It's, National Move Month, get moving. And then, but when we return, we have a pretty fancy topic. Would you like to know what that is?
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to be talking about the history of taxes and giving maybe some little jokes to go with it. So yeah.
Be a combination of the history of taxes and jokes about taxes. If you have any good tax jokes, send them on in. I may be able to use them. And during intermission week, don't we have something funny going up?
We do. It's I got everybody together and we have a little video that we will post 4:30 p.m. on Thursday next week. So if you're missing us and you just want to, have something a little funny, it'll be ready to go for everybody.
If you know Amy, her intermission week posting maybe is entertaining or more than many of our, it may not be educational, but it will be enjoyable. So don't be late because it won't be real long. So you'll want to catch it when it comes up.
Yeah, it's pretty quick, but it was funny. We were trying to keep straight faces while doing it. So hopefully it'll be enjoyable. So definitely. And it's also Easter weekend. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Easter.
Great Easter.
Yeah.
Okay, well, with that, cheers. May your
We'll see
nighttime
you
routine keep you well hydrated,
We'll
So-
see you
See you
in
in a few weeks, everybody.
Yes. Take care. Bye-bye.